embolisms, you know, a lot of things can happen with that. So the other thing that's going to happen is your body has to neutralize that 2.5 acidity. So what you're going to do is you have to drink 30 cups of water to neutralize a can of soda. Well, nobody drinks 30 cups of water. So what it does, it has to suck the calcium out of your bones to try to neutralize that. And it really, again, it's very just taxing to your body to try to neutralize all that. Here's some acidic foods, conventional meats, mostly that you get in the stores, not the kind that are, you know, we always talk about the grass-fed, no hormones type of meats. They're not. They're actually a perfect pH relationship in those. It's pretty interesting that, you know, meats get such a bad reputation for being, you know, acidic and damaging. But if you get no hormones and grass-fed and no antibiotics given to the cows, it's actually a perfect pH and perfect omega relationship. So sugars, dairy, caffeine, salt, alcohol, tobacco, artificial sweeteners, and which people don't think about is medications. Any drugs, any pills, any medication that you take is literally acidic. So, you know, besides the damaging effect that those drugs and medicines have by causing other diseases in your body, they're actually very acidic for you, and they're very toxic. So your body takes, so when we talked about the preservatives and toxins that are in foods, just like medicines, what your body does is it takes fat cells and it absorbs these toxins, and then it doesn't burn them. So again, the more carbohydrates you eat, we talk about why that would cause you to be weight loss resistant. Now when people are young, you know, they say, oh wow, when I was in high school I would, you know, eat McDonald's and do all this, and you know, I was pencil thin. Well, now I eat the same that I did then, but I gained all this weight. You know, what's going on? Why? Do I have a thyroid problem? Which you might, but you know, there's a lot of other things. But the bottom line is, as you're eating those foods, your body was taking fat cells and absorbing all those preservatives and all those toxins because it couldn't digest it. It's a toxin, it absorbed it, and now it will not burn it. So when you go and you jog and you exercise and you do all your other things, you're like, man, I can't lose weight now. Why can't I lose weight? Well, you can't lose weight because your body will not utilize that fat cell for energy. So the next step that we're going to start to do here, and I was supposed to meet the guy last week, but he canceled, but we'll get together, is, you know, there's ways to do some good, healthy detoxification. So all of those refined foods and all of those preservatives and all the chemicals that we've been exposed to in our lives are really being stored. We need to get those out of there. We need to flush them out of there. So that'll be another day. We'll walk you guys through all of that. Alkaline foods. ABCs are the key. Apple, beet, carrot. So if you eat just a half an apple, a beet, and carrot every day, you're going to prevent cancers, heart disease. You're going to keep your body alkaline. It's pretty amazing how strong that is. Green leafy vegetables and mixed nuts, obviously your omegas, are very good alkaline types of foods too. Milk. So I'm not going to go into it as much detail as I have in the past, but don't get me started. Don't push me. I'm real close all the time. So milk is actually all the waste that is left over in a cow for the most part. So if it is given antibiotics, it's given hormones, pretty much all of that is collected as a I did it. In that area. So, yeah, it's not very good. It's not really good for you. If you feed an adult cow's milk, it'll die. It cannot even utilize it. So think of what the cow's milk is made for. It's to take a little baby calf and make it, what, 500 pounds in like a month. You know, so that's what it's made for. So it's not made for humans to really drink. If you're going to drink it, do the organic, or we do the almond milk. I have not tried the coconut milk. I do the almond milk, but again, it's very acidic, and there's a lot of allergic responses. So people who have allergies. Go ahead. Do you have a question?
No, I just wanted to mention that there are also other milk options like soy milk. Soy milk's great.
Absolutely. Yep.
Hemp milk, which is a lot of
hemp milk is really good. I mean, that's a really big one too to use. Soy milk, I kind of shy away from. Just some of the newer studies with soy milk for men, they've showed a slight increase in just that group with having prostate cancer for some weird reason. So just too much soy might be a bad thing too. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there's many alternatives now. Like we were talking about, looking at things that can substitute for other things. There's many different alternatives you can do now. Again, toxins, all foods that have been chemically altered, preservatives, they're all stored in the fat cells. They won't be used. It increases, again, another thing that causes inflammation at the cells, which increases all the disease processes. So I used to eat a lot of, even when I was going through all this, I'll show you kind of how I refined my days and my meals, but I did a lot of lunch meats. And lunch meats are, they're high in sugar, and there are just tons of preservatives in them. So you really got to be careful. Even just getting lunch meats are really refined. They're really not close to their normal state. Water. Everybody should be drinking their body weight divided in half. That's how many ounces of water you need. Reason for it, you have to get oxygen into each cell in your body, so you have to do it according to your body weight. Not only for energy, but for health. So your body stays, now one thing to keep in mind is most waters are acidic. So the bottled waters are acidic. The only ones that aren't, Avian, Fiji, Essentia is 9.5, so that's excellent for you. Really the overall best is reverse osmosis. So, we have a lot of guys that work for the state, and their job is really working with the water treatment plants. So I think there's one in here now, so I don't want to get into too much what they do, but this patient said he really doesn't even want to take a bath in our tap water. So he actually has the system that NASA uses to purify all of his water throughout his whole home. That's how bad a lot of that water is. So reverse osmosis, though, even from him, he said that is the best. That is the #1 source that really purifies it the best and gets all those toxins out. Wow, real bright. So we're going to talk about, sorry, everybody look down. A couple of things that, we talk about inflammation, we talk about pain. A lot of people have allergies, sinus problems. So I want to just kind of touch real quick on some of the foods and some of the ways that happens. Omega-3s and omega-6s, you guys, we hear a lot of, taking your omega-3s and 6s. Well, #1, in order for your body to process the omega-3s and 6s, you need to have zinc, minerals, and B vitamins. So a lot of us don't get enough minerals. So mineral supplementation is actually very good unless you're eating a lot of green leafy vegetables and spinach and those kind of things. Then you'll have the ability. So you can take all the omega-3s that you want. If you don't have the minerals or B vitamins, you can't process it. If you don't have enough zinc in your body, you can't process it. Now, the ideal situation is to have those omega-3s go all the way down into prostaglandin 1s. And what will happen is that's decreased pain enzymes and decreased inflammatory enzymes. The problem is if we eat trans fat, we have too many carbohydrates and sugars, or if we smoke, because smoking takes the minerals out of your body, it's not going to allow that to go to prostaglandin 1s. It causes these omega-6s really to form arachidonic acid. Now, you guys ever hear of aspirin? And aspirin a day, they all say to prevent heart disease and all these things, because aspirin cuts out arachidonic acid. Now the problem is there's a 50% increase in cancers for people who take 1 aspirin a day. So it's really not a good idea to take 1 aspirin a day. If you're really smart about it, you just eliminate the buildup of arachidonic acid, your body won't produce what's called prostaglandin 2s, and you're not going to have the increase in pain, inflammation, and histamines. So, how do you do the type of foods produce the most arachidonic acid? Pork is #1. Shellfish is #2. And animal fat that are the commercial meats that have been given the toxins. They've been given the antibiotics. they've been given the hormones, and they're grain fed. When they're grain fed,